eggheads. Hello. Life is valuable, and so is your time. Puppets! Here's what a year of biology looks like in Ohio. It's
a year of biology in 10 minutes. The words that follow come from the Ohio Department of Education Item Specifications and Blueprint. The cell is a system that conducts a variety of functions associated with life. The concept of the cell and its parts as a functioning biochemical system is more important than just memorizing the parts of the cell. Carbon is a necessary element that cells acquire from their environment. Cells use carbon along with hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur during essential processes like respiration, photosynthesis, chemosynthesis, and biosynthesis of macromolecules, e.g., proteins, lipids, carbohydrates. Chemical reactions that occur within a cell can cause the storage or release of energy by forming or breaking chemical bonds. Every cell produces a membrane through which substances pass differentially, maintaining homeostasis. In all but quite primitive cells, a complex network of proteins provides organization and shape. Prokaryotes, simple single-celled organisms, are first found in the fossil record about 3.8 billion years ago. Cells with nuclei, eukaryotes, developed 1 billion years ago, and from these increasingly complex multicellular organisms descended. Within the cell are specialized parts that transport materials, transform energy, build proteins, dispose of waste, and provide information feedback and movement. Life is specified by genomes. Each organism has a genome that contains all the biological information needed to develop and maintain that organism. The biological information contained in a genome is encoded in its deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, and is divided into discrete units called genes. Genes are segments of DNA molecules. Genes code for proteins. The sequence of DNA bases determines the sequence of amino acids in a protein. The development of the model for DNA structure was the result of experimentation, hypothesis testing, statistical analysis, and technology, as well as the studies and ideas of many scientists. Different parts of the genetic instructions are used in different types of cells, influenced by the cell's environment and history. The many body cells in an individual can be very different from one another, even though they are all descended from a single cell, and thus have essentially identical genetic instructions. Heredity focuses on the explanation of genetic patterns of inheritance. Sorting and recombination of genes in sexual reproduction, and meiosis specifically, result in a variance of traits of the offspring of any two parents. Genes can be altered by insertion, deletion, or substitution of a segment of DNA molecules. An altered gene is a mutation and will be passed on to every cell that develops from it. The resulting features may help, harm, or have little or no effect on the offspring's success in its environments. The basic concept of biological evolution is that Earth's present-day species descended from earlier, common ancestral species. Natural selection is used to describe the process by which traits become more or less common in a population due to consistent environmental pressures upon the survival and reproduction of individuals with the trait. Classification systems are frameworks developed by scientists for describing the diversity of organisms, indicating the degree of relatedness among organisms. Both morphological and molecular comparisons can be used to describe patterns of biodiversity. Cladograms present hypotheses to explain descent from a common ancestor with modification. The concept of descent from a common ancestor with modification provides a natural explanation for the diversity of life on Earth as partially represented in the fossil record and in the similarities of existing species. Heritable characteristics influence how likely an organism is to survive and reproduce in a particular environment. When an environment changes, the survival value of inherited characteristics may change. Diagrams and models are used to explain the effects of real-world interactions and events within an ecosystem. Ecosystems change as geological and biological conditions vary due to natural and anthropogenic, human-caused factors. Like many complex systems, ecosystems have cyclical fluctuations around a state of equilibrium. Changes in ecosystems may lead to disequilibrium, which can be seen in variations in carrying capacities for many species. The great diversity of organisms and ecological niches they occupy result from more than 3.8 billion years of evolution. Populations of individual species and groups of species comprise a vast reserve of genetic diversity. Loss of genetic diversity in a population increases its probability of extinction.
Life is valuable.